Thank you.
Sure. Well, welcome everyone. This is our Monday night team call for Health for Life, and we have some guests today, and we love it. And we're excited to just talk about Luminate, our brand new product. The one thing that stood out to me on the call Thursday night with the corporate group was that they really tried to emphasize to us that this is an experiential product, which is unique for Juice Plus, right? Because most often, don't we say you probably need to be taking these fruits and veggies, every day for 4 months, and then we can talk about some feelings, or maybe some people will notice something in 4 to 6 weeks. But this is interactive. How quickly can someone experience Luminate? What did y'all hear on the call?
Within 60 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. So it's a very different approach to our prospects than Juice Plus. So that's why I thought it was important for us to start with experience. I do like this is straight off boards if you haven't seen it yet. I do like the flavor. How about you guys? It's okay if you don't like it. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just going to say that I was pleasantly surprised that I like the flavor. Raise your hand if you like the flavor. Okay, good. And those of you who are not sure, we'll wait for you to warm up to it, right? Here's the 60 minutes. Within 60 minutes, we should feel a mental energy boost. And it should help us cut through the clutter of daily life and focus on what's important. I like this third one. It gives us cognitive benefits such as a laser sharp focus, more vitality, elevated mood, enhanced mental clarity. We can talk about those and things in a little bit more detail, but the pricing, if you haven't seen it yet, I think most of us have, $45 for 1 box of 15 servings, or 2 boxes, which would be 30 servings for $78 or $12 savings. I'm just curious, because this is all a partner-driven call. How did you feel about the pricing? Raise your hand if you felt like it was a competitive price.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say I didn't do energy drinks, so I didn't know, but I happened to be in the store and I passed the shelf of them and saw that it's right in there with what those cost, maybe even a little bit less.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. And what's an example of an energy drink that you could see on the shelf? I'm just curious.
Red Bull.
Okay.
Monster.
Okay.
Monsters, kind of terrifying.
Yeah, really.
I saw somebody drinking a little shot of something the other day.
5-hour something.
And just drank it.
Yeah.
I had no idea what it was, but you could tell it was something for energy.
Yeah, I wonder how much those cost. I've seen them in the gas station.
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
when I saw this, the first thing I thought of was that this was going to be very competitive with Spark.
Yeah.
But I haven't looked at I haven't compared them, but that's the first thing I thought of.
What is Spark? People don't know what you're talking about.
It's an energy little packet that but I think it's got caffeine in it. I don't think it's not clean. I'm trying to remember who makes it. Oh gosh.
No, that's okay. I just was curious, as I don't even know what it is. I was just wanting to kind of put a reference. The one that I'm familiar with, and Brenda, did you bring this one to my attention, called Bloom?
No, I haven't heard of that one. I mean, one of the things that they mentioned, I can't remember if it was the other night or if it was at Indy, was things like LaCroix and stuff like that. Some of these like flavored sort of, they're not, I don't know if they qualify as an energy drink, but I know the kids drink them a lot.
I think they were just talking about that you could put this in that.
Okay. I must have missed that part.
Yes, so it's kind of a mocktail, if you will, if you put it in LaCroix and it has the fizzy water. But I don't believe that there's any correlation between health benefits to this one.
Okay.
But that's how they mention it. Let's talk about a few of the ingredients. sage leaf extract and spinach. That was kind of interesting, right? How do you say this bottom one here?
Rhodiola.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. That's an adaptogen with a long history of use in Russia and Scandinavia. But bottom line is it's good for, what is it good for? I don't even see anything listed
Or a
on.
positive
it's
mood
there.
impact.
It's on the
like-
left-hand side.
Okay.
Impact the mood, and
Mhm.
Okay. Your
so that's
face
what
is
makes it
on-
adaptogenic. Yeah. It
Yeah.
affects your mood.
Okay. Then we've got the coffee berry extract. So instead of the bean, we're using the berry. Y'all heard a little bit about that, right? Provides a natural source of clean caffeine. They say that typically the berry is found in landfills everywhere, that people just get rid of it. And so it's a sustainability practice in that we're able to use this berry fully, not just the bean, but also the berry. And it seems to be a milder form, or, you know, not that hot shot of typical caffeine bean or coffee bean, sorry. What did y'all catch about the coffee berry extract in the call? Anything additional? Okay, what about this one down below? Alfie, take a shot at that. Lynn, how do you say it?
Uh-huh. Alpenina, I don't know. Galan-
Alpinia, I think it's Alpinia.
I think it's
Galanga.
Pinia, yeah. That's a nootropic, right? You do new and then
No,
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 no ootropic. Thank you. These are hard
Which
for
is-
me.
yeah.
Tropic, nootropic. Yeah.
And what do we know about nootropics?
It's hard to pronounce.
Laura, do you know anything about them?
I just know that, I mean, I know about the herb itself, that it's in the ginger family, and it's used to support just mental alertness. So, I mean, and ginger is, you know, if it's in that family, surely it has to be good for your digestion. And it says also it's similar to turmeric, which is, you know, good all the way around for inflammation. But in this case, it says it's for mental alertness.
I
So,
like it. Lion's mane, it's kind of a hot topic in the herb world today.
Yep.
Obviously a mushroom. And what do we know about that? Obviously there's a little bit on the right side about, you know, where it grows, but let's see, what were the benefits?
I know lion's mane is touted, you know, as a good thing to use if you've had cancer.
Oh, okay. Brain
Really?
function is
Yep.
what I've read. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Let's go to ashwagandha. Am I saying it right?
Ashwagandha.
Okay. This is an adaptogen. And
Yeah.
what is good about that for our bodies?
Isn't that something that helps bring balance to the
Ooh.
mental?
Good job. Yeah, it's a calming agent is what they're
Right.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk about it in a minute, but some people that have ADD or teenage kids, it can give them a calming effect and they can focus a little bit better. So that's interesting to me, because how many people have children or friends with ADD or ADHD? Yeah. So I just threw those quick slides together. No big deal. I just want to get us focused on the actual ingredients and the experience. Let me stop sharing that for a second. And I will
Can I
say,
go back really quick? Do you mind to
Oh.
that lion's mane? Just because I just didn't know how to word it, but I looked that up before and
okay,
ran
tell us.
across it several times, just because people with dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff, but it says it contains a substance that may contribute to nerve growth, and some studies suggest it by taking it, it boosts your thinking and your memory process.
Mm.
And may also help to protect against, you know, cognitive things like Alzheimer's
Mhm.
and, dementia, the umbrella of it.
Thank you for adding that, Laura. Super helpful. A couple things I want to kind of finish out with on my part and then let you guys chat a little bit because, I'm not in charge of the content here. I want this to be interactive. I went to a couple of my favorite Juice Plus girls today, and I don't know about you guys, but I love to learn from some of the leaders that are doing this very, very well. And so Jamie Kinsey, Jamie Ke, how do you spell her last?
K-U-E, K-U-E,
Kuezie.
K-U-E-N-Z-I-E.
Thank you. On Instagram, she's not going to be on Facebook as much. She's going to do more on Instagram. The other one is Emily Otten. You guys, Otten. And the third one is Ashley Nicole Hudson. So those three girls have some great posts, and I would suggest tomorrow they're all on Instagram, go and listen to their live message about it, because Jamie was the one that stood out to me, and she basically said, this is the first time our company has invested in a product that you will feel or notice immediately. And I want to tell you about it, and I want you to hear from my heart. And so she goes into the fact that it's lots of herbs and mushrooms. That's a simple way to give it an overarching umbrella. And then she says, I'm noticing that I'm not wanting my coffee anymore. And she said, I'm getting all the benefits of coffee, but not all the downside of coffee in this product. So whether or not you love that or not, I have noticed that when I have Luminate in the morning, I like it hot. I don't need my coffee, which to me is a wonderful blessing because I was getting a bit addicted to coffee. She said that we're getting the antioxidants of the whole plants. And she did go ahead and explain that there were 80 grams of caffeine. She said, so, this is designed for adults, not children. But she said, my kids have already tried coffee and they're teenagers. And so I'm allowing them to use Luminate. And so she said, I have a freshman in high school and then I have a college student. And she said, let me tell you a story about my freshman in high school. So she tells the story that her daughter has been having trouble getting all of her work in. And she said, but I asked her to try Luminate just to see how she liked it and give me her honest opinion. She said, so we've noticed that her grades are good, but they're not great because she's missing getting in some of her activities or her homework. And she said she used it for 4 days straight. And she texted her mom and said, Mom, I'm locked in. I didn't even know what that meant. And she says, what do you mean you're locked in? And she says, well, I got all my work done before my counterparts. And she said, I have never had that happen. I'm always kind of middle or lower in my classroom and getting my work done. So she felt good about that, obviously. Then the other example was that a friend of theirs who has a child with ADD took it early in the morning, first thing, and then went to school. And he explained that his mind was quiet. That was the word he used. He was not having racing thoughts, which is his normal activity every day. So I was like, wow, that's interesting. And then the last one that I'll tell you, and then you guys can share your experiences, is that she said one of her customers has GI issues and it was irritable bowel syndrome. And she said, which is what I suffer with, and Brenda, there may be others on the line. She said that they noticed that the Luminate was giving them a better regularity. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. And when she dove down into it, she realized that many of the ingredients were actually prebiotics, which were helping to feed the probiotics. So she said it makes sense that, it would be good for digestive health. So I loved those 3 or 4 examples. My personal example, and then I want to hear from you guys, is that I have been struggling with a cold since I got back from Indianapolis. And so I'm waking up in the morning a little tired. And I'm also taking Zyrtec because I've got this major rash thing going on. So I've been using this as my wake up, get me focused kind of thing. And instead of coffee. And I have to tell you, I love how it makes me feel much cleaner and crisper than coffee. So I think my body's enjoying the ingredients. So with that said, who else has tried it and has a story to tell, good or bad? Doesn't have to be all good.
Well, I've tried it. I like it. I like the taste. I like it hot. I like it cold. Uh, caffeine does have an effect on me. And so I really do, when I drink it, my body can feel it. Not necessarily just caffeinated, but I almost wonder if there's a cumulative effect, because I did it for several days in a row. And then I actually went to half and did half like Friday, half Saturday. And it that was enough for me. And then I did not do it Sunday. And then I did do it today, and half might not have been enough for me today. But I really do. I am a person who does not focus well. So I feel like it does help me, really does help me.
I came into Indianapolis with a very poor attitude about it. I don't know about you guys, because I'm not an energy drink girl. I was like, I don't need energy. I've got Juice Plus. I'm good. But since I've tried it, I'm like, wow, I like how it makes me feel. Lucy, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask Lynn. So you said you're real sensitive to caffeine. So how did it make you feel?
I might say I feel it a little bit in my stomach. I can just tell I've had something, I mean, it's
What do
true.
you mean in your stomach? Like, does it feel nervous or does it feel?
No, I just that I've had, I don't know how to, I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, that's
But
interesting.
your heart didn't race? Your heart wasn't racing?
It wasn't jittery. I mean, if like, my favorite time of the day is when my caffeine hits my veins. I like that feel, but I can just kind of tell. I mean, for me, it's like to be focused is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Be energized is good.
So did you feel your tummy like that when you were just taking half?
I can just tell I have it. I can tell it's in. I mean, it says you feel something in, an hour or so. I can tell pretty quickly.
Okay.
So, and there is, I will say, on the hub, on the juiceplus.com, put your password in and go to the hub. There is a lot of information. And one page is a do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
And so, and there's a lot. I mean, it might be 6 pages of do's and don'ts. And it tells you what you can say, what you shouldn't say, kind of how to say things. It's worth reading. But one of the things is says that don't promise that it's not going to make anybody feel the jitters. And I wouldn't say I feel the jitters. I don't feel shaky. I don't, that kind of thing. I just can feel, I don't know, caffeinated or whatever the right word would be, energized.
Someone used the term a gentle rise. I was like, that's an interesting perspective or way to put it. But, basically a focus and a rise in your maybe positive outlook is a good
and energy.
Energy, yeah. Melanie, you had a question?
I did. I'm wondering if somebody like is a diehard coffee drinker, and they still have to have their coffee, but then drink this, should it be later in the day? If you can't get them to trade this out for coffee.
Yeah. You don't have to trade it out. I do both.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
still
me
doing
too.
some coffee. I just don't want as much as I did want. Yeah.
And I don't know that I wanted as much. Like I made it Sunday, and then I realized, I hadn't even, because I was going like this around the house, getting ready for church. And I realized I didn't, I had to drink it.
Yeah.
So.
They say that, Melanie, you can have it as late as, you would normally be able to have caffeine in your day. So if you can drink coffee and you can have coffee as late as 5 or 6, you can do a Luminate or Luminate as late as 5 or 6. But some people can't do coffee or caffeine after like 3 o'clock. So they just would need to do it before 3 o'clock. but there's not a right or wrong time. I think Jamie Kinsey was sharing that her son was doing it before a big test because he had a, really need to focus in college. And so he was going to do it at 2:00 for, a test around 3. So I think when you want to have mental focus is, or when you want to have natural energy and feel good about it. Someone's raising their hand.
Honey.
Connie.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey.
So I am one of those people that really has a hard time with caffeine. And I do get the jitters. I get sick to my stomach. It's like that little nausea and stuff. So I myself have been a little bit of hesitant to even try it at this point. But with Lynn saying that she does have, I'm just wondering, does it even make sense for me to try it? Maybe even like a quarter of it to see
I'd
how
say
you would do with
yes.
it?
I'd say yes, and I will say that it doesn't keep me awake, and coffee does, because I've taken it in the afternoon. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And caffeine, usually I don't have coffee past 11 in the morning. But I would say if you're game to buy a box and to try it, that also gives you some to give to people.
Right.
Or to have a party, and they say
Right.
do shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that there's a real market. I mean, I taught school, so I think what teachers, particularly by this time of year, what teacher wouldn't die for this,
Yeah.
But the people I've mentioned it to have all been positive. I mean, they've just been people I've been sampling right now, but I haven't had a party or anything, but they have all been like, yes, I am interested.
I think it would be worth you trying a box, at least one box with 15 servings. If you don't love it or you don't have people you want to give it to, somebody will purchase it from you. I wouldn't worry about it, Connie. I'd get it and try it out because I think there's only an upside for you trying it. And I think that a couple of people I know have done a half a bag and done fine with that. And they're very sensitive to caffeine. So I think you would have to do it in the morning early and maybe, Laura, what were you saying about an empty stomach versus a full stomach?
When I was in Indy, I took it at lunch, sort of drank it with my food slowly, and then I had to finish it afterwards. And I didn't feel it at all. But the next day, I was getting on the airlines, and about noon, I had not had lunch yet. That was after the conference was over. I'm like, oh, this will be good for the airports and airlines all day. So I took it, and I did feel it, but I've never got jittery from it. And John, my husband's tried it. He hasn't got jittery from it. And I mean, I don't, for me, I'm not thinking of it as an energy drink per se. I'll say, yeah, it'll give you that afternoon boost, because everybody tends to have that lull in the afternoon, whether it be 2:00, is a good average that most people have it. But I think it more of, number one, mushrooms. That's, everybody's into mushrooms and the teas. And that attracts to the young crowd. And also, like I said, just the brain fog and the preventative help it can give you for, your focus, your cognitive, all of that. So, I'm sort of not selling it or talking a lot about the energy side, more of an afternoon boost and then more of the other benefits. So
okay,
good point. I think the ingredients are what's going to make us stand apart. So the more we can get our arms around, and I haven't yet because I can't pronounce them yet, but more we can practice with the ingredient list and know just 4 or 5 quick statements, I think the better off we'll be. Because I do believe, I have a good friend who lives in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I just wanted to support her business. And she came out with an energy drink a few years ago. And so I tried it, and it immediately made my tummy upset. So there was some kind of ingredient that was not natural in it. And I just, and they were $5 a bag for those little bitty sleeves. And ours are $2.80 to $3 a bag. So I wanted to support her. And I tried, and I just could not, but when I asked for the ingredients, she wouldn't share them. She said, I have a friend who makes it. She kind of came up with this in her basement. And I was like, oh, Yeah, but
What?
I adore her.
You
and
did
she's
that,
a fun-
Severin?
Yeah, yeah. And so after that, it was fine. I could throw them away, right? But I think that we are clearly, being upfront with what the ingredients are. The benefits are well known. And I just did some research today. I went and looked up those 5 or 6 ingredients that you just saw on the screen. And you can buy individual lion's mane. You can buy individual ashwagandha or whatever, and they're all 17, 18, 20, $30 a bottle. But none of
Yeah,
them are
that's for sure.
combining
Because I
them
already
together.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say what you said about buying them individually is correct because I took a herbalism class, and out of what I learned, I bought rhodiola and I bought ashwagandha, and
Right.
yeah, very expensive. And I wanted to buy try some mushroom tea or something like that, but the quality good mushroom tea is very expensive or sold out. So just to have all of that in one product, I thought was great. So.
Did anybody talk about it compared to Rise? RYZE?
No.
Do you guys know what that is?
I know
No.
what that is.
It's like a
I don't.
coffee substitute, but it's made
Yeah.
with mushrooms. So it's made with the same thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're doing a lot of advertising for it.
Yeah, I've
I
heard
have
about
seen
people
some
having
advertising.
mushroom coffee. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That has
If you have
caffeine. That has
boards,
caffeine as well. Yeah.
Does it?
Uh-huh.
if
Yeah.
you have boards, there is a comparison sheet, it compares it to 3 other products. And off the top of my head, I can't remember if they mentioned what the 3 other products were, but there is a sheet on there that compares it with other products that are popular on the
It's
market now.
on boards?
On boards.
On
yes.
boards, uh-huh.
Oh,
Lucy, what's your question?
Okay, so help me here because a lot of what they're promoting about, how you might have a little down time in the afternoon and you feel like you might need something. Well, I just take extra vegetable juice plus for that,
Right.
So I'm trying to transition here with, okay, we're telling you to eat fruits and vegetables and take juice plus and get your omegas in and all of that. But now I don't know, I'm just having a hard time transitioning how to not approach it, but introduce it.
Yeah, Laura,
Right. Lynn, go ahead.
no,
And
Laura,
then
Laura.
Yeah, I'll just
Laura,
speak
go
one
first.
thing to that on that call they did say, and I'll have to look it up to be sure, they says people lose their focus after 10 minutes. I mean, they have a big study on the number of people that lose their focus. So a lot of the ingredients are focus and memory, like I talked about. That's sort of why I'm more on that, the focus, the memory boost, the processing, eliminating brain fog, because what they picked to go in there, I mean, it directly has studies associated with that. So I sort of say it's more for the brain fog and just keeping focus, So
Yes, I was gonna say what she said, that don't tout it as an energy drink so much as just saying, going into some of the effects. It's like what, I wrote a, dang, I don't know where it is, but,
Lucy, have you tried it yet?
A little bit. I went to a sourdough workshop and the lady there had some,
Uh-huh.
and then I just got mine.
Okay, good. Yeah,
So
I think
I haven't
I
tried
think
a
the
whole
big key
packet.
is you do have to try it, and not just once, 3 or 4 days in a row.
And yeah,
Because Lynn said that it's an accumulative process in the body, and then you'll notice and be able to talk about it, because this, as they said in the call, is an experiential product, unlike Juice Plus, So I agree with you. I walked into that leadership conference thinking, we got plenty of fruits and vegetables. Why do we need an energy drink? But I
yeah.
think this is a very different market that we may not have tapped yet. And
Yep.
I just think it's a health promoting product, and we don't have to focus on energy. We do need to focus on brain health and focus and cognitive health. So yeah, if you haven't tried it yet, I would say that's the place to start. and then you'll have your experience and you can go from there. What
Well,
other questions?
Would you suggest though, like in Lynn's situation, taking the whole packet for days just made her tummy feel weird? Which
Yeah,
is
don't live on, don't worry about
no,
that. I mean,
no,
I'm
but
sorry.
you know, you
Are
don't
you
want them to
sensitive to
feel
caffeine?
weird taking a whole packet initially. You know, you want them to have a good experience, just like when you're starting Juice Plus for the first time, you say, well, you know, just start with 1 and 1 and 1 for a couple of days, you know. I don't know. What do you think
I
about
think if they have caffeine sensitivity, which Lynn does, you definitely want to tell them to do a half a packet or a quarter of a packet to start out with, whatever they feel more comfortable with. But if they're not sensitive and they're like me, a big coffee drinker, but yet they're curious about the ingredients, say do a whole one. Because like Laura mentioned, I did a whole one at lunch and did not notice a thing because we were eating and we were busy. But when I needed some energy and some clarity after being sick for a few days, and I'd use that in the morning, I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. You know, now every morning I want one, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure I can fit that into my budget just yet, 7 days a week, you know. But if I could, I would, right? Go ahead, Laura.
I was gonna say, I'll mention one more thing, because I thought those little, they have Juice Plus promotions. There, it's a information pack, but where you can stick a sample in there and give it to people. It lists the ingredients, it lists what the ingredients do. So if you're not as comfortable talking about it yet, I mean, obviously, I think if you try it, then you'll be able to talk about it. But those packets are awesome. I mean, they ran out in Indy. I wasn't able to get any, but I did go on to Juice Plus promotions and order a couple of packs. But I mean, it has what it is, like I said, all the ingredients, what the benefits are. So, you know, that might be a tool that you can get if you just want to test the waters, and, you know, all the info's there. And everybody does know their individual body. You know, a person, if you're a person that can take one pill or, you know, 4 pills, because it's just, and the same thing, you know, if you drink caffeine at all, that what your caffeine does to your body. So it's all an individual thing. I mean, just because we all know how drugs and just herbs and everything has on our body. So I think they can use that as a gauge.
So you
Yeah.
can also use it as needed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So it's
not
not-
something to take every day.
They're not saying take it every day.
Yeah.
Can
Unless you want
I,
to.
Yeah, Connie.
I'm sorry, I wanted to just say one thing about this product is a great option for people who do the energy drinks that are out there right now. If you explain to them like we do with our Juice Plus, right? If you look at the ingredients and compare what they're drinking and ingesting in these other drinks, it's quite different. It's quite different. And the only reason I say that is because my husband likes those energy drinks, and he works with a ton of guys where that's what they do throughout the day. So if this is, I think, that market where, again, it goes back to read your ingredients, what's in that product, and how is it truly affecting you in negative and positive ways. So I do think that there's definitely a market for it for the health conscious person, someone who maybe needs to be still want that alertness, maybe that a little extra zip, but also that focus and that mood and all the extra good things that are in there. I do think it's a good product. And I think if we can get the word out quick enough, and once it's available, I think it'll do well. I really do, because there's a lot of people who use energy drinks on a daily basis.
Mhm. Yeah, and one of the things that Courtney Shaw on the call said is to focus on the benefits of the benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
I thought that was golden. That's what I was trying to find.
Yeah, great
What does
points,
that mean
guys.
exactly? What does that mean to you?
That what Laura was saying, that here we've got, and Connie too, you know, you've got the mushrooms, you got these things that the products, what they do. So instead of saying, here's an energy drink, it's like, you know, focus, and what will focus do for you? Like, you know, the kid you were talking about that finished their schoolwork and things like that. You know, you
Yep.
think, yeah.
Yeah, and pure ingredients and not all the added stuff like you talked about, Severin. You tried your friends and you knew there was something in there foreign that, I mean, everything we have is real, so your body knows how to process it. So, I mean, to me, that's a benefit of a benefit too.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
And
One
it
more
doesn't have a
thing.
lot of sugar in it either, you know.
Yeah. One more thing about the ADD and ADHD and caffeine. Does anybody know the reaction difference with when they have caffeine versus not? No? It actually calms them.
Oh.
It has the
Okay.
opposite effect of what it does for the average person. It can get them all hyped up, but caffeine in general will actually calm somebody who has ADD or ADHD.
Interesting. Very.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which again will help with the focus and the attention and all of that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. I'm done.
No, I'm so glad you shared. We're quite a bit over and we try to stick, be really respectful of each other's time on Monday nights. It's 8:45 and we usually finish by 8:30. So we're going to continue this conversation next Monday. But before we go, Dr. Sears has an event. Lynn, can you help us sleep study on Wednesday night that we're all building for? Is it 8 or 8:30? I forget.
I would have to look. Wendy Campbell also is going to, have a call tomorrow night.
Okay.
It's tomorrow
So
this,
we will pop those into our Voxer chat so that you can have access, but it's the one I was thinking of that our team is building for is the Dr. Sears sleep study at 8:30 p.m. or Eastern or 7:30 p.m. Central. But Wendy Campbell has one tomorrow night, it sounds like. So if you need more info, get with the person who invited you. We'll get you the details. But I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining. This is great to have a good discussion. And please jump on again next week and maybe do your homework this week by trying the product and looking up some of the people you respect within Juice Plus. How are they sharing it? Because that's critical, and what's standing out about their post that would make you want to try it as a skeptic sitting back watching them post. So we will see everyone next Monday night, same time, same place. Same, Zoom number, you got it. If you have questions in the meantime, reach out to any of us individually. Okay?
hey, Melissa,
you.
thank you, Severin.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Stephanie.
joining,
Good
Melissa.
night.
See y'all later. Good to have y'all.